Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to a brand new video here today and some more F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. Today we are here for the Monaco Grand Prix and I'm very excited, guys. If you guys are also excited, then drop me a like straight off the bat and support the video. It massively helps me out. But guys, if you missed the last episode, then go check it out, guys. I will leave a link up in the top right hand corner of your screen for the Spanish Grand Prix. So hopefully guys go see that before we jump into any potential spoilers in this episode. But guys, real quickly, I want to get a quick plug out of the way. We're getting very close now to 50k subs, so if you are new to the channel, guys, and you haven't done so already, hit that red subscribe button. It massively helps me out, guys. And without further ado, let's get the episode underway. Here we are once again then on the laptop as we begin another race weekend, this time at Monaco. The weather forecast does actually say we've got some rain possibly on Sunday towards the end of the race, which could make things quite interesting, to be fair. In terms of R&D, we are still ahead of Alfa Romeo and McLaren, which is great news for us in the development front, and we're still just hanging on. So the car is going to be somewhat competitive around here. Also worth noting, we do have an engine upgrade on the way for the next race at Baku, so that will hopefully push us above AlphaTauri if we're lucky. But with that, we now move into practice here for the first session of the weekend here at Monaco, and we're going to try and get the car, shaken down, up to speed, and try and build up our confidence around this track, because ultimately that's what Monaco is all about. It's all about confidence. You've got to really make sure you have the car underneath you and you feel confident to push into every single corner and make no mistakes. And to be fair, it wasn't really the case. We struggled a little bit for car balance. I went quickest in FP1, which is great news for us because we hit our goal bonus. But the pace wasn't the main concern. It was more the stability. I know I'm going to be quick around here because, traditionally you always are compared to the AI around this track. But for me personally, I wanted to be a bit more comfortable with the car. In terms of acclaim, we gained a big chunk after practice as we finish the session top. And we're now on our way to level 14. Also, as a team, now on our way to level 17, which is great. And Mick on his way to level 11. But with that, we now move into qualifying here. And this is when things get serious. The engines get turned up and all the sandbags slowly get pushed off the car. Slowly but surely, and there is our absolutely beautiful machine here this weekend. I forgot to add on the sponsors that we re-signed once again, which is a shame. So the only sponsor on the car this weekend is Atlantic and of course Shark, our title sponsor. But that aside, moving into Q1, this was my first lap in the session, and to be fair, I tried to do a one and done, but it didn't quite work. So we did a first lap, we went P14 only, which is quite surprising. Magnussen and Norris ahead of us. I went for a cool down lap, and then I went for another time lap on the same set of tyres, on the same run, and it was going pretty well up until now. So we got a bit scruffy through the Nouvelle chicane, and then I hit the inside wall at back, and that was going to be it for my session, because with a minute 40 to go, we can't get this turned over in time, and we're currently 14th. Is it going to be enough, though, to get us into Q2, or will that cost us? We just scraped through in P16, so we get very fortunate in Q1 and we just get away with it. Mick Schumacher knocked out in 17th place, and overall quite disappointing really. I thought both me and Mick would have got through it more comfortably. Magnussen and Norris up in 14th and 15th, they were quite surprising that he managed to sneak in there, but generally speaking, the pace wasn't quite there in Q1. Like I said, the car wasn't feeling too good, but then in Q2 the track conditions ramped up a little bit and things were starting to get a little bit more hotter in terms of the performance. And this was my first run in Q2 on a used set of tyres. It was the one that we used on our abandoned lap where we crashed in Q1. We set 1 minute 9.3, which is not a spectacular lap by any means, but we're now going to run aboard for a full lap of the Monaco Grand Prix here, as this was my best lap in Q2. The question is, will it be enough to get us out of the drop zone? Let's find out. Let's go for a full lap of Monaco. Here we go, out of the final corner, opening up the DRS, keeping the car to the right-hand side, and we go P1 in Q2, and suddenly we have arrived, and what a difference, a 1 minute 8.6, that was 4/10 quicker than our Q1 time, and we narrowly missed out on getting first place. Vettel just pipped us at the end in the Ferrari there, but a really strong session, and we are comfortably into Q3, which is absolutely awesome. And if you compare the lap times to Q1, you can tell that I did some time simulation, and there was a bit of a glitch because in Q1 the lap times were a lot quicker, and that explains a much more realistic pace in Q2. But we then move on to Q3, and on this session I had no fresh tyres remaining, unfortunately. I used up all my fresh tyres in Q1 and Q2 to get through. Therefore, for this session we only had used rubber, and my first lap was actually pretty good, a 1 minute 8.7. I was only a 10th off our Q2 time on used rubber. We then went for another run on used tyres again in our final one, and we was up by a 10th. But then into the Nouvelle chicane, we clipped the inside of the wall there. My left rear just tagged it, and it cost us half a second. And unfortunately, that's going to be the end of our qualifying session. I tried to push it, but we wouldn't find the time eventually, and we had to just go to the pit lane. So it is a shame, and unfortunately for us, Sebastian Vettel just sneaked in and got second place again. So Bottas picks up pole at Monaco with a 1 minute 8.2. He was absolutely dominant here today. Sebastian Vettel in second for Ferrari, and we start from P3. So actually, I believe one position worse than last year, if I'm not mistaken. So quite surprising, but the pace was just not there this weekend. You know, the car wasn't as good as possible, and we didn't fully optimize the session, but of course the wing damage. So overall, I'm not going to complain. P3 is pretty decent, but we're now going to move into an interview.
Who would you say is your biggest rival at the moment?
I'm not quite sure, to be honest. I don't really look at a specific driver, but if I'm looking realistically at the table, I think maybe Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari.
It's got to be a relief to qualify that far up the grid.
Of course, especially around Monaco, track position is absolutely key, and you want to always start as high up as possible around here. So a really good day at the office for us.
Are you happy with your performance today?
Not entirely. It could have gone better. Obviously, I'm happy. We're starting P3, but it could have gone a lot better.
Is there anything that you think gave you the edge over your rivals?
I think it was a combination of things, but generally our chassis just has been really good this year, and around this track it works really, really well.
Great. Well, that's everything.
And there we go then, after qualifying, we look at the team acclaim before the start of the race. And yeah, guys, that is the situation before we jump into things. Qualifying overall, not fully optimized, but we'll take it. We move on, and hopefully we can try and make it a good race, starting from third place on the grid. So without further ado, let's get it underway for round number 7 of the season for the Monaco Grand Prix.
Formula One returns to Monte Carlo once again today, home to the world-famous Monte Carlo Casino, first opened in 1863. And, of course, a certain road race, first held here in 1929. There's no greater an occasion, no more valuable a win than the Monaco Grand Prix. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars climb around 40 metres up through Beau Rivage, onto the casino, and then descending down towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of the 19 corners here, 7 to the left and 11 to the right. There's one single DRS zone as well, so don't expect that to make overtaking any easier today. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Can we talk about Mercedes? What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Martinez, Leclerc, Esteban Ocon, and Ricciardo, Hamilton, Albon, Perez, and Max Verstappen, Gasly, Stroll, Daniel Kvyat, and Norris, Giovinazzi, Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, and Carlos Sainz, Raikkonen, Grosjean, Russell, and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right guys, so here we are, it's time for the Monaco Grand Prix, starting from third place on the grid. And it's going to be an interesting one because, of course, Monaco is mainly about qualifying. Qualifying is key. You get one final chance at turn 1, pretty much. And then the race is all about luck and then strategy and hoping something goes your way, because overtakes are very tricky to pull off around here. So we are starting from P3, Sebastian Vettel in second and Valtteri Bottas P1. I'm hoping to get a good start and to try and jump at least one of the two cars in front of me into the first corner. Strategy-wise, we're going to go for a soft medium, possibly a soft hard. There is a chance of rain at the end of the race. That could spice things up a little bit. But in terms of fuel, I've gone 2 laps negative, so negative 2.0 on fuel, which is really rare for me, but again, around Monaco, it works really well. So let's see if that can help us. Maybe at the start, we might be a bit more quicker and get a better start with maybe lesser weight in the car, but we'll find out. Either way, we're going to get racing here for the jewel in the crown of the F1 calendar for the Monaco Grand Prix. Right then, here we go. The lights are coming on here at Monaco, 39 laps ahead of us. And it's lights out and away we go. Not a bad start, actually. We managed to get alongside Sebastian Vettel into turn 1, side by side with the Ferrari now on the exit. As we go up the hill, we do lack a bit of straight line speed, unfortunately, and Seb will hold on to that one in the Ferrari as we try to challenge for P2. Doesn't quite work out for us, but it does get a bit loose on the exit there. I'm going to have a little look.
Virtual safety car deployed. Slow down and maintain a positive delta. Virtual safety car is deployed.
Not sure what happened there, but looks like we've had our first incident in this race. No safety car from that though. Just going to check my front wings okay. As yeah, it looks okay so far. So right then, a crazy start, but just the VSC for now.
Okay, we're low on fuel. Try shifting up the gears a little sooner. This should help us save some fuel.
Yep, I mean, I don't need that kind of advice, Jeff. Thanks, but no thanks. Here we go, restart time. Not the best restart, has to be said. Seb getting off to a really good start there in the Ferrari. As we get a bit sideways, tyres not fully up to temperature just yet, but lap 1 draws to a close, and we are still P3 in the Monaco Grand Prix. The AI are very fast here today. Bottas and Vettel running a really strong pace. I'm also not too happy on my tyres. Rears are starting to go already. Good news is though, Ocon is behind us in the Renault. The rear tyre wear is kicking in, and I'm not happy with it. The car doesn't feel great. Okay, I'm starting to find a little bit more pace now. I've tweaked the differential now to 50%, and the car started to improve, and I'm getting to a bit of a groove now as well in terms of consistency. We just did a personal best, and looks like we're on for another one this lap as well, which is perfect for us.
Very low on fuel. Trying to shift up through the gears earlier. It may help save more fuel.
Yeah, I'm working on it, Jeff. Don't worry, mate. Okay, we've caught back up to Sebastian Vettel. Gap to Ocon now 3.5 seconds. We've really picked up the pace. Running a lot more lean mix, giving us better traction on corner exits, and also just tweaking the differential slightly. So we're now back on the cusp of Seb and knocking on the door of that P2 finish. Bottas though is really going away with it out front. He's got some incredible pace. That Mercedes looks absolutely unbeatable at any track at the minute. Tyres are starting to fade now. There's no chance in hell I'm getting past Sebastian Vettel on the pit straight. We all know how fast the Ferrari engine is, so we've got to try and think of a way to get past with strategy. Like, I can't even really get close enough to him. At the minute, I'm just trying to manage my tyres. I've had some overheating issues with the rear tyres, so it's all about just trying to hang on to the car at the moment and avoiding wheel spin and car slides. But we're definitely quicker than Seb. I think we are. You know, the gap to Ocon now 5.1. We're solidifying this podium lap by lap. Right, so Vettel should be pitting this lap because we're meant to be pitting this lap. Bottas as well, I'm guessing. But we're going to stay out here, and the reason being is traffic. I feel like if we can extend that first stint as long as possible, we'll benefit massively from that. So Bottas stays out, Vettel pits. I'm expecting Vettel to feed out in traffic behind all the medium tyre runners, and the same for Bottas. So if I can run at a good pace on these used soft tyres, you know, pretty worn soft tyres now at this stage, we could be in a good position this race to benefit. This would be our only way to get past Vettel and also close the gap to Bottas, I feel. So let's see if Bottas pits this lap. But this is my kind of strategy play for the race, and going for the overcut is going to be the call. Right, Bottas pits. There we go. So we are going to take the race lead here at Monaco for at least a few laps. Let's see what our tyre is like. 62 left rear. Okay, so we have Gasly, P2. He's the leader of the medium tyre runners behind us. So I'm going to monitor my pace and see if we're quicker or slower than him, just to know whether he's catching or not. At the minute, I'm really struggling on the rears, I've got to be honest. So we're going to box. These tyres have hit the cliff as well. I'm overheating on pretty much most of the tyres now, so we're just going to bring this one into the pit lane, hope that we didn't hurt our chances too badly. But I'll try something different. You know, I wanted to get ahead of Vettel and Bottas. Obviously, that's backfired now, but let's see where we rejoin. Hopefully we get a quick stop from the boys. A sub 2 second would be absolutely ideal in this scenario. Here we go onto mediums.
Go, go, go.
There we go. It is sub 2 second, which is perfect. Bottas has gone by already.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
There's Sainz, Vettel just behind him. We're going to rejoin just ahead of Vettel. So there we go. The overcut has worked. We've got ourselves ahead of the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel. And that is perfect. Exactly what we wanted for strategy. Right then. P10 on mediums. No more stops to make. But that is why you go for the overcut. I lost time to Gasly, but that's okay because we were still quicker than Vettel in traffic, which is all that matters. I'm all over the back of Sainz here. So much more pace than the McLaren. Of course, on the fresh tyres. That's what you'd expect. Down the inside of the final corner we go. Easy move on Sainz, nice and clean as well, which is what matters really. Schumacher running in P7, he's had a good start ahead of Sainz, and also Magnussen as well, so he's managed to get Magnussen at the start of the race. Let's see if we can close up on the Haas driver now. I've got so much more pace than Magnussen here, and let's see if we can find a way through as we almost run to the back of him through there. Might be the exact same move as Sainz, to be honest. Just trying to get the run through here. Not quite, wasn't able to get the momentum on the corner exit. Trying to get the traction down on the fresh tyres, DRS, ERS and a rich mix. But not quite. Magnussen manages to hold on for now. Can we get him up the hill? We've got a good run here with full engine power deployed. Around the outside of Massenet and inside of Casino. What a move. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Fresh tyres, working an absolute treat for us here today. Right then, here we are, we're stuck behind our teammate Mick Schumacher. Let's see if we can get past the German and then get onto Giovinazzi, hopefully. I want to use these tyres because Bottas is still stuck behind the McLaren of Lando Norris, so I want to see if I can get past him here. Unfortunately, I can never get the exit out of there. The AI are always so good on traction, otherwise I'd fancy my chances.
Forecast in just over 10 minutes time. Rain in 10 minutes.
Ooh, that could be interesting. That could definitely sprinkle a bit of an interesting curveball into this race if the rain arrives earlier than expected. Obviously, I'm hoping Schumacher stays down until the Inters, if that's the case, but anyway, let's try and get past him here. Through Raskas, switch back. This time we do get the move done. Down the inside, nice and tidy, leaving Schumacher plenty of room so he doesn't go to the wall. And we're up to P7. This is our chance to get past the Mercedes of Bottas and take the net race lead here at Monaco. If we can clear Giovinazzi straight away and nice and quickly, that would be ideal for us. He's so slow through that entire section, but then on the power, he's absolutely brilliant heading into the tunnel, which is a shame. It means I can't make a move into here. Giovinazzi defending the inside through turn 1. Fair play to him. I can't complain about that. I've run out of ERS as well, so it's going to be hard to make a move here unless, again, we go for the same move, but it wasn't to be. I'm trying to look for a way through, but it's not happening at the moment. Giovinazzi holds on for now. Oh, for once I've actually had a good exit here. That's much better. Right underneath Giovinazzi's gearbox. Down the inside at the Nouvelle chicane. Have to go the long way around, but this time we do get the move. And there we go, fantastic stuff. Right then, let's get after Bottas. Oh, Lando pits just as we was gonna start getting ready to make a challenge on Bottas. Looks like the remaining cars and mediums are going to box. So we're now P2 in this race.
Consider switching to a lower fuel mix. We may not finish on the current settings.
Yep, don't worry, Jeff. I've got it, mate. Okay, so we're back to 1, 2, 3. Bottas, myself, and Vettel. This time, though, we're P2. You can see Bottas already absolutely flying away in the Mercedes. It's going to be hard to beat him here today. That was my chance, but unfortunately, the traffic had to pit. Oh, Carlos Sainz out of the race in the McLaren. Again, the McLaren is just so unreliable. I can't quite get within Bottas' DRS, which is a shame. Looks like we are going to hit a personal best though, which we do. Another personal best, purple sector 3. Good pace from us, but still not quite as fast as lap, which is a shame. That still belongs to Valtteri. Yet another personal best.
The gap to the car in front is less than a second. Let's try and get past in the DRS zone.
Unfortunately, still no fastest lap. We're trying hard, but we just can't seem to hit it. Bottas, whatever lap he did, that was a pretty strong lap from him. I've kept Bottas honest so far. Every single lap, I'm right behind him. We've now reached the lap car. Alfa Romeo of Kimi Raikkonen, I believe. Let's see if anything happens, see that we can maybe benefit from. We'll see. Blue flags waving, of course. It is going to give Bottas the DRS on the pit straight. Valtteri's very slow out of Raskas. I've got to say, you're on traction. Looks like no issues with the lap car. As he lets us both go by. Never mind.
Radar suggests some weather is going to hit in around 5 minutes' time, so stay on your toes.
That's going to be interesting because it is getting quite dark here in Monaco now. The conditions are getting a bit, you know, more likely towards the rain side of things. I'm curious to see if this rain does arrive and actually forces us to make a decision whether we go for inters or stay on the dries. Okay, more lap traffic. This time we've got a Haas car. This could make things quite interesting. Bottas getting held here. I don't trust AI one bit, so I'm trying to keep my distance. But there we go, we get through unscathed. Rain's still not arrived as we enter the final 7 laps of the race here. Haven't really spoken much, I'm really concentrating. We've got a 20-second gap to Gasly in P4, so there's a nice pit window there to look for if we pit for inters. Bottas is struggling on his tyres. He's having lots of little moments under traction where he's losing the back end. I'm starting to struggle myself now, but more on the front, so I can't stop locking up. But Bottas is losing traction pretty much out of every corner exit. Let's see if he does it here again. This time it seems like he gets under control, but he's starting to struggle on those tyres now, Bottas. Oh, here we go, the rain's here. It's coming down quickly. The droplets are already starting to affect. You can see on screen the little droplets of rain, and also the grip is starting to go already here. This rain is really, really quick. Let's see what happens here. I might box for inters this lap and chance it, roll the dice. Oh.
Copy.
Yeah, we're going to have to pit. Got to pit this lap. I was hoping Bottas would have stayed out for one more, but it's not been the case. Into Raskas. The grip is just gone straight away. Just a complete downpour here at Monaco. Right onto intermediates. Let's see what kind of stop the boys give us. Hopefully it's decent. Obviously we're not going to be out ahead of Bottas, but I just want a good stop. Let's see what happens. Here we go. Come on boys, quick stop. 1.8, that'd be nice.
Go, go, go. You'll be racing on the exit. Go, go now.
It was a good stop. We got held though, which was a shame. Right onto intermediates. Oh, struggling. I've got to get used to this now. And that was our chance to get Bottas though, I think. I was hoping for him to stay out, or worst ways, you know, he pits for inters and we stay out in the dries, but the rain just came down too much, too quick. Just a complete downpour here at Monaco. Right, let's just bring this one home. I think we'll take a P2, given the circumstances. I'm really concentrating here. I feel like I could get Bottas as we go into the last lap. This could happen, but I need to be super focused. Lap traffic could play a part here. Williams up the road. Williams getting out of the way for Bottas. Will he get out of the way for me though? Yes, he does. I was close. I didn't think that would happen. Oh, we clipped the inside of the wall there. That's not good. Here we go then. Through the swimming pool for the final time. Looks like Bottas has got this. I'm trying to put some last minute pressure on him, but can't get close enough. Big lock up from us into there. Through the final corner. Bottas is going to hold on, but we're going to come through for a brilliant second place and a podium, and I'll take that. First one of the season. Get in there.
Yes, that's a podium. Excellent drive. The team have worked especially hard this weekend, and this is a fantastic reward.
The Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Rain always has the potential to liven up a race and mix up the order, and they've taken full advantage of that to claim the victory today. It's always a bit of a lottery when the conditions are like this, but they've managed to stay on circuit and have come out on top.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
Right guys, so there we go, the results are in. Bottas picks up the win at the Monaco Grand Prix here today. We finish in second place and narrowly miss out on the fastest lap, unfortunately. We were within a tenth of the fastest lap of Bottas, but not quite enough. Sebastian Vettel P3, Pierre Gasly in fourth for AlphaTauri ahead of Lance Stroll. Lewis Hamilton only P6 for Mercedes ahead of Charles Leclerc, the homeboy hero, ahead of Esteban Ocon, Max Verstappen and Danny Kvyat, making it a double points finish for AlphaTauri here today. Then we have Perez missing out on the points, along with Norris, Schumacher 13th, Albon, Ricciardo, Giovinazzi, Magnussen, Russell, Latifi, Grosjean, Raikkonen and Carlos Sainz, the only retirement from the race here today. We then move into the standings after that race and we remain in 5th place, but we extend our gap over Verstappen and we are 21 points clear of the Dutchman, which is absolutely awesome. Bottas also overtakes Lewis Hamilton for the lead of the championship, and Sebastian Vettel also overtakes his teammate Charles Leclerc. Lance Stroll and Pierre Gasly take a massive jump up the table, up into 8th and 9th respectively. And then in terms of the constructors, we move up to 3rd place, overtaking Red Bull Racing and once again reclaiming the 3rd spot we had after the first 3 races, which is absolutely incredible. So guys, drop a like if you're enjoying, how much we're fighting for the field and really outperforming, where the car should be this season. And yeah, we're now going to move into the laptop and look at the upgrades heading to the future races at Canada, Baku, and so on and so forth. So let's jump into it and let's get these upgrades on the car.
Everything went your way today. It looked like you had a really good strategy for the race.
Yeah, to be fair, we did. We worked hard on the strategy. We knew the overcut would be a good option due to the traffic, and that's credit to the team. They pulled out all the stops here today, which is awesome.
You're beating all expectations. Would you say we all underestimated you?
Maybe a little bit. Last season we did well here, to be honest, but then again, it's never guaranteed, so it's always fair enough to, you underestimate a team like us because, we're not always at the front. But this weekend, again, it just goes to show how great of a team we are when we all work together, and that's absolutely awesome.
The weather was miserable today, but do you feel this was an advantage for you?
It wasn't long enough to really impact the race, so yeah, I'm not quite sure, to be honest.
So talk us through what happened between you and your rival today.
Well, I think it was a great battle. I really, really loved it. We was pushing each other. Hopefully the fans enjoyed it. It was a great show. In the end, though, we got the win. Ahead of him. We done it.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Right then, so after that race, our first rivalry breakdown versus Sebastian Vettel gets off to a great start as we are up 5-3 against the German driver, which I did not expect considering he drives for Ferrari. In terms of the team acclaim though, we gain a big amount and we're now almost at level 17 as a team, which is absolutely awesome. Mick also well on his way to level 11, which is great. And in terms of cash flow, we do hit all of our bonuses, so $1.36 million here this weekend, along with a few damage deductions, of course, from qualifying, as you guys saw in Q1, but still a great weekend and a lot of money thrown back into the team. But guys, let's throw on some upgrades for the future races. So the next race is going to be in Azerbaijan on the 4th, so we've got quite a while until the next race, and already I've noticed the pistons upgrade for the engine has arrived, which is great news for us. But first of all, let's assign some activities for the upcoming days before the next race in Baku. So first and foremost, I think we're going to work on some, driver promotion filming. It's only one day and it's very effective. We're getting a cheap 200 acclaim points, which is great news for us. We're then going to move on to some aerodynamics equipment upgrade. That's going to help out the aero department. We then move on to sponsor event for a fun racer to improve team acclaim, and then 2 more days we are going to assign G-Force training for Mick Schumacher to improve his racecraft once again. So there we go, those activities have been assigned. We then move over to the facilities tab. Now we have $7.8 million to spend, and we've now received the durability level 2 upgrade, which is great news for us. That's going to be really, really tasty. I do want to get level 3 though, so I'm going to try and hold on the cash and see if we can get level 3 in terms of durability in the future. R&D wise, that we have 1,509 points, so let's spend those here today. Looking at the situation though, looks like the chassis could do with a bit of work. It's looking a bit incomplete, and one upgrade I think would do quite well for us is a major tyre wear upgrade. So that's got a 16% chance of failure. That will arrive after the Canadian Grand Prix, whereas if we rush it, it would arrive for, just before the race. So it is very tricky. I think I'm going to play it safe though. The last 2 times we've tried to rush an upgrade, it's backfired on us, so we'll play it standard for now and go quite safe with it. We do have, of course, besides that, no more upgrades in the pipeline, so that's where our car is going to max out for a little while. Hopefully we'll get some more upgrades in the next episode, but the car will remain unchanged heading into Baku. But guys, that is it here today. We're now going to move into the calendar and simulate ahead up until the next race. Right, so before we end the episode here today, we have got a bit more cash as we've simulated ahead, and I'm going to buy the build time upgrade for the chassis department to reduce the build time. I don't know whether that will affect the upgrade we just bought. If it does, that'd be great news for us. If it doesn't, oh well, you know, hopefully in the future upgrades, we notice the benefit from that. So let's have a little look. So the next race is going to be Baku. Not my favorite track, but we'll try and do our best either way. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode of the My Team Career Mode, drop me a like and subscribe if you are new for daily F1 content on the channel. And also check out the previous episode on screen right now, along with the full playlist of this series so far. But guys, that's it. That is Monaco in the books. And we now move on to the next race at Baku in the next episode. But until then, it's goodbye from me.